Jamahal, you can do it.
Somebody inside the headphones trying to sell me something. There's a voice trying to sell me things.
Oh.
And we are back. This is Knockout Radio coming to you live from Media Row in Phoenix, Arizona for Super Bowl 57 coming up. Randy, we always talk about it. There seems to be like every other fight card, Angela Hill's on a card. And now it looks like there's another Hill that's going to be sticking around for a long time. And that's your current Jamahal Hill, light heavyweight champion of the UFC, is here with the belt at the booth. And welcome to the program. Knockout Radio.
Knockout Radio, that's fitting.
It's Knockout Radio, yeah. We've been doing this a long time, Randy. Dana White was just here yesterday, did the show live here, and so Randy's been covering the UFC since day one, since the original inception, and it's amazing to see the sport come to what it is today.
And that's what I talk about. Like I was telling you, before we started, I've covered the UFC since day one. I've helped try to get the UFC where it is and where it's going. Back in the day, nobody cared about the UFC. Nobody cared about when an athlete would walk through Radio Row. This excites me to watch you guys, with the belts and without the belts, walking through Radio Row and media caring and media wanting to talk to you.
It's exciting. It's dope, and it makes you feel like that your work that you put in there is appreciated. It's definitely huge.
Yeah, I know from just in the past years in Miami, when Usman came by with the belt and Ryan Bader came by with the double belts, it used to be on Media Row where the fighters would show up and they're kind of like, oh, this is about football, and why are you guys here? But now, when the fighters come through with the belt, now there's like a mob. I mean, you see it. And we'll talk about the experience. Like, you won it in Brazil, in front of Teixeira's home country and his fan base, and you're coming in, you're going to be the outsider, you're going to be the heel, you're going to be the American coming in. You took the belt away from Rio, and we'll talk about that experience. Talk about the experience about taking the belt in the home country of a Brazilian fighter, and then what was that feeling like? Did you feel safe going? Because I saw the photos. You went to the beach after to celebrate. You brought the belt out to Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, it was good. It was, for the most part, for me, it was just like being at home for most of the week. People made me feel comfortable. Like it wasn't really any hostility until weigh-ins, like the crowd, the crowd that was at the stadium and everything. Kind of at that point, it was just kind of funny because at that point, I'm already locked in. I'm already about to go fight, so I can just see what's about to happen.
As we're watching it, and I told the story, I was with Tyrone Lewis, who was the former WBO cruiserweight champion, defended this title which he lost in Hamburg, Germany. We were hated. We were booed during the national anthem. And it's one of my favorite things I've ever done in my career, being booed. Holding the belt, I thought it was awesome. Was that kind of the same thing? I mean, you were the heel down there, in Brazil, fighting a Brazilian legend.
Right, yeah, well, that's the thing though, right? Because sometimes you might even be in the mid, people don't know who you are. They're just kind of quiet. You got the whole arena up. So it's a lot of energy, it's wild. It's like, I just took it like that, I just fed off it as just energy. I didn't take it bad light or anything. I grew up in sports, so I played other sports, so I've been in hostile territory before. I just go in and treat it like another day at the gym.
Now, I know you're from Chicago, so is that White Sox or Cubs?
I don't watch baseball. I like San Francisco when I was younger. As I got Sox.
What other sports, what other things do you do? Do you enjoy?
Yeah, I play basketball, I play football. Sports-wise, I like watching different sports. I watch rugby. They just came out with this new thing on ESPN. I think it's called a tag league.
Yeah. It's intense.
Some of those dudes get messed up.
Yeah.
It's like fun. It's like dope to see
Is there any of those things, or a reality show, or because we can get you on the tag? The Watt brothers run there. They have their own, JJ and
DJ.
And so we can get you on that.
I want to run and try to get to. I mean, you know what? Yeah. I might have to pull up on that one time.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
Now, obviously, being
I just know
the
if I hit my head on one of those bars.
Yes, exactly.
so obviously being the UFC light heavyweight champion, any interested in doing a slap league, like the professional slap league?
He said, hold on. He said truck. No, he said truck.
Truck.
No.
We all.
We're It's all good. It's truck. No, you can say truck.
No interest in the slap league, huh?
I like trucks.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. How has your life changed since winning the belt?
More attention, a little bit more media. Just that. I'm still me. I still do the same things pretty much every day. I'm still the same person.
Which is important, and that's what it is.
Now, with that being said, you have 6 children, is that correct? 6 children. So, I mean, how's that going into the fight? Like, do you do it for them? Do you worry about what they see or what they think they're going to see?
100%. What I do is I do for my children. Motivation of me just wanting to be popular, like more people like me, that's not enough. 100% I do this to set a foundation for my kids. So some of the things that I went through growing up, hardships that I had to deal with, they don't like to deal with.
Now, with that being said, you haven't changed as a person, and you're still who you are. But are they different? Are they? My dad is the UFC,
My dad's the champ.
The champ.
They don't care.
The belt is here.
They don't care. Like they kind of looked at the both of us like, oh, it's cool. My daughter was more so upset about my face. They just care about their dad. They don't really care about being like champions. I don't really think they grasp all the concept. Just care about their dad.
Let's go just for a second, talk about the fight itself. I'm sure you're aware, but are you aware during the fight what's going on? Like, a lot of people thought the fight should have been stopped much earlier. I know that Heckelman wanted the fight to get stopped, and it didn't. Are you thinking that, or do you have to block that out because your job's to continue until it is stopped?
It's not my job to say whether or not they should continue to fight. My job is to put it up for discussion. So I was in there. I was just working. My main focus was just focused on working. So I know I was putting it on, especially in the 4th round. The referee yelled to me a few times like, you got to fight back. You got to show me something. And so I knew it was close to being stopped then. I just I look at a fight differently when I'm in there, which I think kind of helps keep me sharp and keep me
I always ask the fighters this: can you watch a fight as a fan, not as always trying to learn? And I say it that way because I'm a licensed judge in Florida. And if I want to enjoy a fight and not judge it, I'll look away for like 20 seconds. Because if I do that, to me personally, I can't judge a fight. If I don't watch the whole thing, how can I say who won the fight? Can you watch it just as a fan and not trying to pick things up and consider it work?
Yeah, I am a fan, but I also learn no matter what it is, when I'm interacting with somebody, I can learn from that. So I just have a learning mindset. So I don't look at it like, oh, I'm watching this thing. I just watch it. I just want to see if they show up. I'm just a fan. So they'll show me that I have certain styles that I'm a fan of. Some not.
How did you get into this? What day did you decide I'm going to not do this anymore? I want to go in combat sports.
It was like January 7th, 2010.
It's pretty.
Yeah, the exact day.
The exact day.
Pretty accurate. Yeah, I remember whenever I saw it, and I wanted to try it out and things like that. And that was the first day I walked into the gym.
How is the sport, whether it's training, whether it's nutrition, whether whatever, from your first day, of walking into the gym to last night? How has it changed?
It's changed a lot. There's more technology. There's more ways the science behind it has come a long way. Just the athletes themselves. The fighters are different now. They're athletes. I feel
Sure.
Sometimes in the older days, guys got away just being tough. Just being tough guys. You have to be tough as well as skill as well as resilience. You have to have a lot more to your package to your game.
Just curious, because you're also a sports fan. What clothing do you have the most of? Is it UFC clothing, or is it another brand, or?
Probably just because
Well, that's like us with 8-Man Strong,
Yeah.
who being our title sponsor. Well, what do you think about Panini, the trading cards? And I know that's been a couple of years. It's been now out with Topps for a long, long time. What's it like to get a trading card? We typically think of trading cards being football or baseball, and the MMA world has started to now get into the trading card business.
I think it's cool. I grew up around like baseball cards, basketball cards, things like that. So it's always cool. Things like that. So to have your own, that's it. It's cool.
How surreal is it, when a fan comes up, recognizes you again, Dana and I talk about it all the time. We think the UFC is exploding. It's still growing. It's going to continue to grow. I remember we had Chuck Liddell in town. Nobody even knew who he was. It was Chuck Liddell. So when somebody recognizes you and then comes up and has your trading card, it's like, hey, will you sign this? What is that?
A lady came up to me and she had like bought my NFT. She had bought my NFT. I'm like, man, I think I was in Texas. This was my first time ever being in Texas. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's cool. It just shows that the sports, the eyes are on the sport and people are enjoying the product. That's really what I want.
Speaking of eyes, you're on media row here at Super Bowl 57. Is there anybody that you've seen that you're like, oh, I can't believe so-and-so is here? Like,
I haven't really ran into. I kind of just got here. So I just met Brandon Marshall, which is cool.
yeah.
I grew up watching him play and seeing how he's gone beyond after playing and just marketing himself. Made a lot of the right moves to make sure he keeps up
So what is your thoughts on your next fight being against Dave Lockett?
I hope he's ready. I hope he's drinking a lot of water. I see him walking around here with a belt and they're like he's the champ. But I'm coming. I'm coming.
All right, Dave, we're setting this up. We got this match. We're getting it together. Any thoughts? I know it's still early. I mean, do you care what's next, who's next, where next is?
No. Now it's just I got the goal. I achieved my dream. I'm at the top of the mountain. Now it's about setting your goals, right? And basically, how do I feel right now? I feel irritated. I feel disrespected. So I want people to feel that.
And Randy calls that. I'm so sorry. Are you the reason that he feels disrespected right now?
I hope not.
Let's get the next match right now.
I don't know. What's your burner account? What's your burner account name?
Yeah.
What's your burner account name?
He's too old to understand.
Honestly, I have no idea what that even means.
It's a fake account for social media so you can talk trash.
Here's the thing: I'll talk trash or whatever on my account. What I'm saying, whatever it is. And I have many pet peeves. I'm an old, crotchety, whatever. My thing is, if you're going to say something about somebody, tag them. Let them know. At least have the balls to do it.
Crazy. Oh my. No, see, I didn't even know this was even a thing. So somebody was getting called a snitch or a tag something or something because somebody said something about me and then they tagged them in it. So they were mad that somebody tagged them in what they said about me. It's like, so yeah, if you gonna say something, tag me. I follow that out.
Well, so Randy got called a snitch because
I did get called a snitch. You tell me if I'm a snitch on this case. Okay.
So his car gets ran into at an Applebee's, right?
You don't have to plug Applebee's.
Okay, and he was at a nice dinner, and his car got hit, and the guy took off. But before he took off, Randy was able to get an ID of who he was, a license plate number, and they were able to have the police do a lineup. And Randy identified the guy who ran from the scene and caused thousands of dollars worth of damage to his car. And so Randy ID'd him.
That's getting your money.
Exactly.
So when we talk about it on the radio, they call him a snitch, and they're like, "Oh, you're a snitch."
They was trolling.
Yeah.
They was trolling.
But that's one of my peeves. If you're going to talk about somebody, at least let them know, that kind of stuff. So
Say anything to nobody behind their back and say something.
exactly. So how are you relaxing other than wearing the belt over?
It's not relaxing. This thing is heavy. No, I'm just going out enjoying this. Wherever I'm at the time. I'm doing some traveling right now. just for breathing and things like that. Just getting out doing the things I like to do.
Enjoying this whole process now?
Yeah, you just gotta enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, whether it's hard, whether it's long, whatever. You just gotta enjoy the journey. It's just part of the journey.
Very good stuff. I appreciate you stopping by. We're going to get your address. We're going to send you a care package from 8 Man Strong, so maybe we can get you as much of that as you have at the UFC, as well as a box of salsa from Blue Smoke Salsa. We're going to hook you up with that as well. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Let's go hit a break, and then we will be back on Radio Row here in Phoenix. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong.
All right. This is some photo. Jamahal, you want to get some photos real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We doing it together or separate?
Both.
Together or both together?
We'll do one and separate one.
Well, no, we'll either one or the other.